Hello everybody, what is going on? My name is Steggy and this is an unboxing of the Elgato 4K60S Plus capture card. Now this is the world's first external USB 3.0 capture card that can capture up to 4K60 HDR, and it's also a first for a capture card that can do 4K60 both through a computer through USB or straight to SD card, no PC needed. So this capture card just started shipping. I know we announced it back at CES, but I have this retail unit right here and I just want to open it up and show you guys what you'll get inside. So without further ado, let's see. This is actually the first unboxing I've done of this card as well from the retail packaging, just because usually during development we just get them in white boxes, but so this will be a first for all of us. So slide it out like so, and then you have this little book kind of design, and then you have an actual book. It's a pretty substantial quick start guide here. So once we move that out of the way, we have the capture card itself, as well as some of the accessories here. And so we can remove this out of the way for now. We'll save that for last. Underneath, we have a box here, which should have the wall adapter, I believe. If I can struggle to get it open. So here is the wall adapter, and so this is actually a multi-region wall adapter, so all of the different countries' plugs are here. So if you are traveling, you can simply put in a new set of prongs, and then you're set for that country, which is really handy. It's handy for us too, because basically one SKU gets to serve multiple countries. So if you ever, I mean, for us, it makes it a little easier logistically with supply chain. But then for you guys, if you're ever ordering these things on like eBay or something, like let's say you're in a country that maybe it's not available through a retail store, you don't necessarily have to worry about compatibility issues, because one, this is a USB to wall adapter, so you probably have one of these as long as it supplies the right amps, which this says 0.5 amps max, 100 to 240 volts. So that should be pretty standard, even though this thing looks kind of chonky. You should be able to use whatever wallet or USB wall adapter you have. But then you have these things like Australia, Europe, and then I believe this is UK. So you're covered on quite a lot of different outlet types there. One thing I want to try out with the 4K60S Plus, and I haven't been able to yet, is I want to test this with like Mophie power banks and stuff like that, to see if I can do like capture that's kind of free from the wall outlets. Because let's say like I'm using a Nintendo Switch, which can be powered off of USB-C through a power bank. It'd be interesting to see if I could do like some sort of setup where I can be completely free from the wall power. Even though if you're looking at like consoles, pretty much every console needs to be plugged into something. So it might be a silly thing to look into, but I don't know. I like to tinker and figure out exactly what I can do with any product that I own or that Elgato sells. So the box is now done. I'll leave that to the side. Looks beautiful. So we have one HDMI 2.0 cable here. I believe this is 6 feet. And then we have two identical USB-C cables. Again, this is powered by through a USB-C to A, and then the wall adapter. So this would be your power. Then this would be your data. So it comes with a C to A cable, but you could use a C to C as long as it's properly rated for USB 3.0. I want to say, not 3.1. Yep, USB 3.0. Just confirming. So that takes care of basically everything you need to get this to work. And then you have the device itself. And so this is a lot different than the capture cards we made in the past. First off, it is quite a bit larger, but if you're considering how much work this needs to do. The size is actually incredibly small for that. And so another change, which I personally like, it makes this a little bit more desktop friendly, is all of the ports are actually on the back side here. So if you have this on your desk, you can just leave it right here. All the ports come out the back, so it's a really nice, neat setup. And the reason for that is because of the SD card, you're going to be taking in the SD card in and out. And so this is going to be on your desktop, while other capture cards might just be sort of hiding in the back around with your cables and everything. So because this is more of a desktop item, we wanted to make sure that your setup looks really clean even when you have your accessories and stuff connected to it. So basically, if we look at the back here, try to zoom in. So if we look at the back here, we have 4 ports. We have the USB port, we have the power port, then we have the HDMI in and out. So it's a very simplistic I/O on the back. And then on the front, we have a 3.5 millimeter input. We have the big ol' record button, and then we've got the SD card slot. And so I'm really excited about this capture card, not just for gaming and stuff like that, just because, I mean, like, I've got that really nice desktop behind me that I've got a 4K60 Pro Mark II in there, and I've got an HD60 Pro. And so I can capture basically anything that I want. However, I do a lot of tutorial videos. And so when especially if you're trying to run a program like OBS and you're trying to showcase how to do something in OBS, it's really difficult to do that if you're also trying to screen record in OBS. And so basically, if I want to do anything like that, I have to use a different program to do the screen recording, like XSplit or Streamlabs OBS. And I'm not as familiar with those programs and getting the best out of them like I am with straight up OBS. But what's really handy about this is you can literally just plug from your GPU to this capture card, and then basically set the monitor to mirror, and then you could record up to 4K60 footage straight to this. And so if you're doing like tutorials for computers where you're trying to run benchmarking software and everything, you don't want to be running capturing programs on top of that because they're sort of resource intensive, so it can skew your results. And so these guys will use like Atomos Ninjas or dual PC setups in order to be able to record that footage and have it look good without impacting their test results or whatever. Or in my case, it's because I'm recording things like OBS and I don't want that footage to be like screwed up as things can if you're using multiple instances of OBS. So this is going to be extremely clutch for users like me who just want to record straight up video footage without using those software programs because there's limitations on what you can record as a result. I know like NVIDIA Shadowplay or something had some issues with certain menus when I would do software recordings or whatever. And then it's just like finding the best render settings. So like I've already been using this for stuff like that, and I'm really excited to take it further. But then it's also just like having one of these in the living room just hooked up to my Xbox or PS4. And it's just like if I want to record something, I can easily do it. Like when I first started capturing gameplay, this was 2006 and it was for Halo 2, and because I didn't have a computer in the basement where I played my game, I used to record everything onto a VCR VHS tape, and then I'd bring the VCR upstairs, and that's when I would connect it to a Dazzle to record the footage. So this is almost taking me back to those days where I can just hit record, I can play it until I get the footage that I want, basically. But this time I don't need to, lug things around or anything like that. I just have to take the SD card out. So this is kind of a fun throwback for me, but this is also just going to be great for events and stuff too. Like, I'll tell you, when we were launching this at events and we were trying to do some social content, including screen recording, we had only 2 of these that we brought with us because, like I said, this is just shipping now. It wasn't shipping then. So we only had a couple of prototypes. But I used one of them because I'm like, I need to get a quick screen recording done. Let me borrow this because this is going to be the easiest thing. And it was. So anyway, I'm sort of rambling here. But Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, everything you get in here. You have a USB cable for data, USB-C cable for power, and then the USB wall adapter to plug that into a wall. You have the one HDMI cable, and then you have the extra country adapters here, and then you have the device itself. So pretty standard, but this is an extremely robust piece of tech, and I hope you guys enjoy it if you decide to order one for yourself. But anyway, once again, my name is Steggy, and until my next video, I will catch you guys later.